Classic Rock 94.9 WMMQ. I am Deb Hart. Mitch Albom, author, columnist, playwright. The man is prolific. He never stops working. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us about your latest work, Hockey the Musical.
Well, before I was a writer, I was a musician. That's a long time ago now, but it was always on my bucket list to try to do a musical at some point in my life. And I used to tease a guy at a theater that we work in here in Detroit that he said, well, why don't you write a musical? I said, I'll tell you what, if I ever write a musical, I'll write about hockey. It was the most ridiculous thing that I could think of, and I just wanted to get him off my back.
Right.
And he said, oh, that would be great, a hockey musical. And so it sort of became a joke. A couple of years ago, I just decided, oh, what the heck, let me see if I could actually come up with something. And I did. And hockey in its own way is kind of a funny sport if you think about it. I mean, you know, it's a grown men skating on ice with chasing a little puck around. If they do something wrong, they have to go sit in a box, like a kid in a sandbox. People throw octopuses out there. And
right.
So I created this musical last year, kind of based on a wild idea that what happens if hockey was threatened to be wiped out. And I have an angel comes down from God and says, God's angry at mankind for inventing all these sports. Too many sports. We got to get rid of one. And he picks hockey. Fan jumps out of the stands and says, oh, God, not hockey. No, anything but hockey. Destroy anything but hockey. Please, if I can find 100 pure hockey souls, save my sport. And God says, find 5. You'll never find 100. And he says, okay, 5. And he finds these 5 people, and they spend the show trying to sing and dance about hockey in all its weird ways and try to save it from oblivion. The whole crazy concept.
I understand that one of the original songs is Kill Baseball.
Kill Baseball is a song I wrote from scratch where one of the characters, a woman, tries to convince the angel that all he has to do is just kill another sport and leave hockey alone, and she goes through all the other sports, starting with baseball. That no one cares about baseball. It's boring, and soccer, nobody would notice if it was gone except in Brazil. And totally for laughs. We even say at the start of the show, if you came here expecting a message or a meaning of life, you should leave right now, because there isn't one. But there are a lot of laughs and a lot of great singing and dancing, and I always say it's a musical that for men who don't like musicals, they can go and enjoy it, because not only is it about a sport, but we even have Steve Yzerman and Brendan Shanahan, Don Cherry, Joey Koster, Darren McCarty, Pavel Datsyuk, other people. They appear on these giant screens behind the actors, and they talk to the actors through the course of the play, and they say, no, you're doing it wrong, go over here, do this and that. And it really feels like they're in it. And they were all, they're all friends of mine over the years, and so they were nice enough to do it. And audience members are shocked, and especially guys who love these, players. All of a sudden, there's Steve Yzerman on the screen talking, and you hear these guys screaming, hey, yeah, Yzerman, okay. So it's a bit of like almost going to a sporting event, but it's still musical theater.
Mitch Albom is our guest talking about Hockey the Musical. It's coming to Wharton Center next month. If you don't know a lot about sports, if you don't think you like musicals, you're going to love this show. I saw Ernie, the play about Ernie Harwell, beloved Detroit Tigers broadcaster. That was beautiful, and we went with a whole group of friends, and the men and the women alike were laughing and crying, but no one saw you cry, I promise. So much fun, and I love this idea for the whole concept of, yeah, right, I'll write you a musical about hockey, and there you go, a musical about hockey. Mitch, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Didn't you used to be in a band with Stephen King and Amy Tan and another writer?
Yeah, it's still in existence, although we're in semi-retirement.
Okay.
It was called the Rock Bottom Remainders. It still is. And, yeah, Stephen King, Amy Tan, Dave Barry, Scott Turow, anybody who ever wrote a book and can't play an instrument is in this band. And we're absolutely terrible, and we play old rock and roll songs, but we don't take any money. We raise it for charities. And we played all over the world. I mean, we played with Bruce Springsteen, and we played with Darlene Love, and got a lot of famous people who just don't care about their reputation, apparently. And Warren Zevon toured with us. Roger McGuinn tours with us still. And it's a fantasy for a lot of writers. I was a musician, so I cheat a little bit. I mean, I can actually play a little bit, keyboards, and Dave Barry can play some guitar, and there are a few people who are half decent, but most of them are tone deaf, and unless you're really severely drunk, we can possibly sound good to anybody. But it is funny, and I was probably connected to how I could see Hockey the Musical being funny. I think if people laugh well enough, long enough, and hard enough, they'll forgive you almost anything. And so that's a fan.
Mitch Albom, again, an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Look for his latest creation, Hockey the Musical, to show up at the Wharton Center in East Lansing. Thank you for your time. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.